Hello, 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 and welcome back to Fall Nationals. We are here to bring you match number 2 of our championship bracket play. If you are just joining us, this is our recruiting league built to connect high school esports athletes to the collegiate scene, hopefully on scholarship. We are in the final match night, or the first match night of our final bracket play for October. This is the second season of our 3-season split for this fall 2020 season. We are excited to have you guys with us, but we do need to bring you first the MVP from the last match, and that is going to be none other than Blurry. This player was absolutely all over the place. Scoring goals, having assists, that was one of those performances that was very hard to decide who was going to be the MVP from that match. It could have been One Tap, it could have been Retro Taz. They all played phenomenally, but Blurry was the main goal scorer, sniper from inside the box. So well done to Typhlosion. We look forward to seeing them throughout the rest of the bracket, and congratulations to Blurry. But we do have another match for you tonight, Tails. Who do we got?
We have Pidgeot versus my boys, Team Pikachu. Super excited to see Pikachu back on stream. It's been a little bit. They are one of the teams that I have been a coach for 2 months now.
Yep.
So super exciting to see, that team I've kind of been leading come to bracket play in their second season and hopefully get a win and go on. No bias, I promise, maybe a little bit. But I'm excited to see, looking at the two teams, Pikachu is in our A division and Pidgeot is, I believe, in the C division.
Yep.
So it kind of shows you there is kind of a clear difference of skill there. But we'll see. Maybe Pidgeot has an upset in their sleeve. We never know. I mean, it is Rocket League. On any given night, anything could happen. I think these teams are close enough to where anything could happen. But, if I had to pick, I think in Pikachu 2-0.
Yeah, this Pikachu side is, of course, one of our teams to already have qualified, right? So they have already qualified for the Winter Major in December. So there's really nothing to lose for them here other than just pure bragging rights and, getting used to practicing inside of that competitive environment. So, they're in a good spot. What we need to focus on here is this Pidgeot side. They're in a position now where they have to go up against one of the top 4 teams from last season. So they are coming back into this season, of course, still being one of the top 10 teams in the league. This Pidgeot side does have a lot more to prove. And, while I do think that the Pikachu side does have the more likely chance of success in this match, I think this is going to come down to Pidgeot has more to prove here, which from what we've seen so far, that usually holds a little bit more water in terms of the competitive environment. We do have everybody loaded into the game, and we are ready to go with this, so we are going to be kicking this off for you momentarily, but this is going to be another exciting match to watch. We are super excited to bring you, these matches tonight for our final bracket, so thank you very much for joining us. This one is going to be another exciting one, as this Pikachu side is, of course, a phenomenal team going up against this Pidgeot side. So Pidgeot in blue, Pikachu in orange, and we are kicked off and ready to go.
Yep, here we go. We see an early attack here from Team Pikachu into the corner. It does get cleared back. SBC does dumps it down into the other half. It does kind of float over. An almost near miss there. Follow up from Coxie, I believe. It is saved by Magnolia. And we're off to a hot start here. I think this is going to be a pretty attacking game on both sides. I'm excited to see what level of attack we have. A great save there from Warlike. And there's a runaway now. Let's see if SBC can get back. SBC does get back in time. SBC is a great defender. I've seen him time and time again kind of always make those plays. Even if it looks like it's a last-ditch effort, he always has control and finesse to make those great defensive plays. But here we go. We are attacking again from the Pikachu side. And Warlike almost puts it in his own net. And Coxie's here to follow it up and take the early lead, 1-0 for Team Pikachu.
Yeah, that looked like it was an attempt at a save, and it was. Maybe got a little bit closer than War would have liked to seen. Unfortunately, did hit off that post and was able to bounce back up into Coxie, who was just there waiting for it and ready to score that goal. We do have an early goal here in the first minute of this game. There is still plenty of time here, and from what we've seen so far, this Pidgeot side has made some amazing touches and pushed forward with, a little bit more fervor than we normally would have seen from a Division C team. But one thing to note with all of the divisions here is that almost everybody in this league is going to be some semblance of a GC. So this is by no way stretch of imagination. Being in Div C is not indicative of being a bad player by any stretch of the imagination. These players are all above top 10% in the world in Rocket League. So they have been playing phenomenally so far. As we do see that second goal there come out from SPC, a little bit of a misrotation here for this Pidgeot side. Nobody back on the long shot there from SPC. Late rotation there, as I'm not exactly sure where the breakdown was. Magnolia was rotating back, but not quite there in time, maybe hunting for a little bit of boost. They are down 2-0. But nothing of these 2 goals is anything that shows that they've been outplayed, right? As we talked about in that first game, Rocket League is a game where, especially at this level, it's about speed and mitigating your mistakes. From what, these are teams when you get up to this rank that everybody's going to have the ability to capitalize on any small, minute mistake that you make, which is exactly what we've seen here so far in these first 2 goals from this side, right? We see all that save in the first goal that bounced off that post and up back into Coxie's car, not necessarily the save you were looking for. We have that second goal, which of course is just that missed rotation by this Pidgeot side. So a couple minor adjustments that they need to make, and they are right back in this game and giving Pikachu a run for their money.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we always say, Rocket League really is about capitalizing on those mistakes, and it is about who can do that more than the other team, especially at this high level of play. Going off what you were saying earlier, we have 4 divisions right now, A, B, C, and D, and really there's only about 500 MMR that kind of divides them from 1,500 to about 2K. Especially within it, it's only about 100, 150 MMR from the top team to the bottom team in each division. I mean, it's really showing here, right? Normally if I say there's a Division A team playing a Division C team, the Division A team is going to run away with it, right? And it's still 2-0 at halftime, still, pretty commanding, but not what that general trope tends to make you think. But we do see a continuous attack here from Pikachu. They keep dumping the ball back into the corners, looking for those crosses. Looks like Zenit's going to let this go by him and then take this into the middle and clear it out from here. A good pass to SBC, and that's great. That's one thing that Pikachu has struggled with, is playing out from the back. They're really great defensively, they're really great attacking, but maintaining that control in that transition from defense to attack is something that Pikachu has struggled with, but it does look like they're doing a good job here as they're passing to each other as they are clearing from that defensive half.
The biggest difference that you've seen so far from these 2 sides is definitely the rotations, right? We're seeing a very different lopsided form of rotations where we see this Pidgeot side, they're getting some great touches, but they are definitely just a little bit slower to each of their individual positions than this Pikachu side, which is indicative of why they're winning 50s like that almost led to a goal. Of course, that's exactly why it's 2-0 as well. So, I mean, this is a team that it is going to play at probably the fastest pace one of the fastest paces that you're going to see in this league. And we do see a goal come out here for Warlike, though. Able to get the shot on off the pass from Magnolia. And just like that, it is a 1-goal game with just over 60 seconds remaining. Still plenty of time in this match for this team to make a significant difference and bring themselves back into level playing field here. What they're looking for is hopefully in the next 20 to 30 seconds that they're able to score another one and level this back up and hopefully push for that overtime, if not more. But this Pidgeot side going up against the Division A team is right back in this.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a 1-goal game now. It's time for Pikachu to step up and seal this game, as they do here with SBC getting a great goal off a attempted clearance from Warlike. It seems the ball kind of, just floats up. SBC takes advantage of that floating ball and puts it in the back of the net for that 3-1 lead with about 50 seconds left. But as we all know in Rocket League, the game is not over yet, right? There is still infinite time as long as the ball doesn't touch the ground. So as long as Pidgeot can come and get a quick goal here, they're right back in it.
They absolutely are, but not after something like that. Coxie is going to be able to go up and sink that shot off the pass there from SBC, who puts that just in the corner to bounce back in front of net. Coxie is there, of course, to sink that ball back down. And, I mean, just absolutely incredible positioning and performance there from this side, and that's exactly what you want to see here from such a dominant side in this Pikachu team, that they are doing exactly what you would expect them to do, right? We need this Pidgeot side, however, to play a little bit more up. They need to increase their pace. They need to increase their rotational positioning, but aside from that, this is a team that, so for all indications, we're seeing exactly what we thought we would see here from this matchup. I do think that this Pidgeot side does have what it takes to be able to contest with this Pikachu side. It's just a matter of buckling down and making the right choices.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we see the 3rd goal from Coxie to make it 5-1, which is absolutely incredible. It is very, very awesome to see Coxie, one of our seniors, have a hat trick in the first game of the
5G just got real. iPhone 12 and iPhone 12 Pro are here on Verizon 5G.
This new iPhone plus Verizon 5G.
Game changer.
With the coverage of 5G nationwide and in more and more cities, the performance of 5G ultra wideband, the fastest 5G in the world.
Whoa.
I downloaded a whole movie in under 30 seconds. How is that possible?
Now, get iPhone 12 on us when you switch.
I want this phone.
This is the 5G phone everyone wants on the 5G America's been waiting for. Only on Verizon.
To 1, which is absolutely incredible. It is very, very awesome to see Coxie, one of our seniors, have a hat trick in the first game of the October bracket for Team Pikachu. Super, super awesome to see and kind of experience as well. So I'm super happy for Team Pikachu to get this early lead, and we'll see if Pidgeot can bounce back, right? Obviously at a 5-1 deficit. There's no way they're coming back in this one. Might be made 6-1 here shortly, but we shall see what happens in game number 2. What does Pidgeot have to work on, or at least think about going into game number 2 to, not lose 1-5?
Yeah, we've talked so much already, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but this is a game that is all about rotations, right? This is something that you are going to see, that the team that is able to rotate to their positions quicker than the other team is going to be the side that's usually most successful. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now, right? The faster team is the one scoring the goals. They are the ones putting the shots on. This Pidgeot side, is of course making some plays of their own. They're getting some saves. They're getting some shots on, and of course they were able to sink that team play of a goal in about the halfway point of that game. But the speed and the rotations from this Pikachu side were very clearly overwhelming. So if I'm this Pidgeot side, what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to play something a little bit more passive on that offensive end and something a little bit more aggressive on the defensive end, right? Maybe play somebody on the backboard, one person in net, and then have somebody else making those challenges as quickly as possible, especially in those corner scenarios. Just try to win a 50 or 2. That's what I would do if I was this Pidgeot side, because of course, like the famous Bear Light says all the time, defense turns into offense. So the more that you can initiate those passing plays and that teamwork out of the back of your own field, the better off you'll be on the offensive end as well. I don't think they need to make a whole lot of major adjustments. I do think that every adjustment they need to make is going to be something minor or minute to put them back into this game. But nonetheless, they do have the work in front of them, as in order to stay alive, they are going to have to reverse sweep this series and take 2 straight. I don't think that that's necessarily unlikely, but it is going to be a challenge nonetheless. But we are loaded up here, ready to get you going in game number 2 of this match, Pikachu versus Pidgeot. And right off the bat, a shot comes out from Warlike, and SPC is there to sink that one back in.
Yeah, absolutely. We see that early shot, and now it does look like Pidgeot is on the attack. Early in this game, looking like they're coming out of the barrel a little faster than they have been since game 1 or after any kickoff. But here we go. Zenith is carrying it down the field. Warlike with a good clear into the corner. Let's see if one of Pikachu can follow up. Zenith does follow up. The ball might trickle in front of the net. Here we go. It is above on that backboard, and no one gets on the end of that, and it kind of trickles into the midfield. Right now, pretty even. I will say a pre-jump here from SBC and a shot on net, and that is a phenomenal goal, phenomenal read and finish from SBC to take a 1-0 lead early in game number 2.
Yeah, Zenith winning a big challenge there to keep that ball in the air at midfield. SPC is, of course, going to double jump up there to sink his nice little redirect into the net. And we are kicking off this game hot within the first 45 seconds of this match. But, again, still plenty of time for Pidgeot to make a difference, right? Those kinds of plays are exactly what you expect to see from this Pikachu side. So you need to play like you're going to see those types of maneuvers. So, that's the type of things that you have to think about when you're going up against a team that is a higher rank than you, that in order to play up, you need to expect the things that they're going to do, right? Which could be a little bit of an unconventional thing, especially for this team that is this Pidgeot side that is, high champ, low GC, whereas this Pikachu side is going to be on the relatively higher end of the GC spectrum.
Oh, yes.
So, but it may be a weird thing to think about in terms of like what types of things that you're not necessarily used to seeing from a team. Ooh. But team play is one of them, and speed is one of them, and everybody knows that GCs are faster than Cs. So that's what you need to expect from this team, and those are the types of adjustments you need to make, is anticipating that type of behavior from these hyper-talented teams.
Absolutely, and as we always say, Rocket League is a game of momentum and speed, and it's so important to consider that and try to obviously play a little faster if you're playing up, right? And here we go. We see another good on continuous attack that's going to end in a goal from Zenith. for his first goal of the match and the game to take a 2-0 lead. Really another great team play. I think Pikachu is rotating incredibly well. There's always someone up to play that ball, right? Whether it's playing it out from the corner, finishing it on that cross, or simply having a great defensive rotation. It seems like they're never caught out of position. And when Pikachu does catch Pidgeot out of position, they punish them by scoring, plain and simply. So super good for Pikachu here. Let's see if they can keep up this pretty much dominance right here as SBC goes for a flick over the last man standing. And this looks like it's going to be a goal on the counter attack. Looks like got a little unlucky here, but we have a match. It is 1-2, and we are off to see. We're off to the races.
Yeah, just like Pikachu is able to capitalize on mistakes, so is this Pidgeot side. They have the ability to score these goals and put some immense pressure on this Pikachu side from what we've seen. They have been able to sneak a couple goals in of their own over the course of this series. So, the ability is there, the talent is there to do the things that you need to do to stay alive in this matchup. It's going to be about doing it consistently, possession in and possession out. And so far, that's not what we've seen from this Pidgeot side, is that we've seen glimpses and flashes of what they are capable of.
Ooh.
As we see an excellent save out there come out from Magnolia, but that touch is going to come in. All three members of Pikachu there are pushed up. SPC is going to flip this one back up in front of the net off the wonderful save from Magnolia. And of course, Coxie is there to sink that one just below the crossbar. They have the momentum. They have what they're trying to do in place. It's going to be on this Pidgeot side to slow down this Pikachu team.
Yep, I absolutely agree. It just seems like Pikachu is playing in sync, in rhythm, right? They're always following each other up. They're not out of rotations or double committing or triple committing. They're playing great balanced Rocket League, great rotational Rocket League with a lot of speed, with a lot of momentum. And this is what happens, right? You check all those boxes, you're going to be winning 3-4-1. Coxie with a fantastic play there. Flicks it over two defenders to get his, I believe, second goal of the match. Great little shot right there. Great finish. A little cheeky. And here we go. 4-1 with 2 minutes left. This game is all but over.
Yeah, no, it's seeming that way, right? I mean, you'd like to think that there's still time, and there definitely still is, but we have not seen necessarily what we want to see from this Pidgeot side in order to be able to stay alive. They are, of course, going to be moving down to the losers bracket, so there's still plenty of time to A, see this Pikachu side again, and B, stay alive in this tournament. So they are no way by any means done with this series, but nonetheless, they are going to need to take a lot of the things that they learned from playing this Pikachu side into their next series, which thankfully for them, it is much, much easier to play the harder teams early on than to have to play them later on. And that's exactly what we've seen here from this Pidgeot side. They have the advantage now in being able to see those tougher teams very, very early on, which will set them up against teams that are not quite as powerful as this Pikachu side.
Yeah, Zenith going there for a little bit of a stylization to get that goal and that counterattack. Unfortunately, just gets a little bit of a touch to make it go errant. But Pikachu is still in the attack. Ball up to the backboard. Looks like it's going to be cleared out. A pass that is not successful to pass it out of the back. And the ball is trapped once again over near that blue net. As it does end up being cleared, SBC does have control in his own corner. Pushing it out to midfield. Warlike centers that ball. Looks like Zenith is there to catch up, and this ball might end up in the back of the net. Off the double touch off the backboard from Zenith. Great goal. Great team play once again, as he kind of just chips it over two players and double touches it all himself. Really, I don't think there was much of a team play at all in there. Great solo goal, solo effort from Zenith. He saw the opportunity and seized the day.
Yeah, no, definitely has. Zenith is, of course, one of those players that we've had our eye on several times throughout the course of this tournament in the past 2 months of this league. It is a player, of course, a senior, so we've had our eye on him in terms of getting him in touch with, as many important people, but mainly, trying to prepare Zenith for what it's like going to be in college, right? He's one of the players that's closest to that collegiate scene, and he, of course, is going to be one of those players that does have the ability to play in CRL and for other collegiate programs across the country and leagues. So, this is somebody we've obviously, of course, had our eye on, but performances like this in this tournament and what we saw from the September season are exactly why we think so, right? We see the ability that these players have on the pitch to be able to do the things that they're doing, but also the teamwork that they possess and their ability to adapt to different styles of play game in and game out. So, I mean, this has been obviously, of course, a phenomenal series for this Pikachu side. They've played exceptionally well. But honestly, I am rather impressed with this Pidgeot side, right? They are going up against one of our top 4 teams from last season. They are able to sneak a couple goals in. And honestly, no part I am rather impressed with this Pidgeot side, right? They're going up against one of our top 4 teams from last season. They are able to sneak a couple goals in. And honestly, no part of me thinks that Pikachu necessarily, dominated every aspect of this game. There were still a lot of challenges. There were still a lot of possessions that this Pidgeot side had that put an immense amount of pressure on this Pikachu team. So, I mean, well played to them. I expect them to make quite the run inside the losers bracket. But, of course, congratulations to Pikachu for taking that victory. They will move on to the next round of the winners. Speaking of the next round of the winners, we have some more amazing matches to bring to you tonight. So we are going to take a quick break, set up the next match for you guys, and we'll be back in just a minute with some more Rocket League.
See you then.